My name is Brian Carhages, also known as BKTheArtist. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I work out of Brooklyn, New York. Ever since I can remember, I really wanted to be an artist. I'm not the story of the creative kid that wasn't supported and nurtured. I come from a strong, solid home with good moral foundations. I was blessed with great education, great schools. My parents taught me not just hard work, but if you're gonna do something, what are you gonna do it for? I went to school at Hofstra for graphic design, and it's one of the best decisions my father and me had ever made because art is a very, crude game and there's no guarantee in whatever it is. So imagine, the exorbitant prices of university education these days in this country. And my father very simply said, I'm not gonna put you in that position to go to school for art. I want you to have something that you can fall back on. And so I knew it was still creative, but it also lended a sense of security, and so that's what I went to Hofstra to go to pursue. The ironic part is I was walking through these university hallways seeing the kids on scholarship who had studios and were painting, and I knew in my heart that I could do the same thing, if not better. I ended up taking a painting course. I was heavily critiqued by the teacher. He said, "You belong upstairs in the computer lab. You're more designer than artist." And it always stuck with me, and in a way, he had kind of ignited that first fire and chip on my shoulder. I was like, I'm gonna prove it to you that I can do it one day. Perspective is so important, because I could have let that eat at me or be a chip on my shoulder for a long time, but instead, I look at it now and say, the universe makes no mistake, and in that moment, that was exactly what I needed to hear to be sitting talking to you right now. If I had the opportunity to rewind it, I wouldn't change one word, I wouldn't change one experience. I think that all those things have been necessary to lead me here to where I can still be in an art world that seems a lot bigger than I am, and I feel confidently no matter where I walk in that world, I feel good about who and what I represent. I've always felt like whatever my brush and my mind wants to go at, I'm gonna go at. And then as I started to make more with that mindset, I think it became very apparent early on that I had a look and feel to my work that was unique. Art is taught in schools because it defines history. If we want to study about early people and culture, we look at their art. And so we're living in, to me, one of the most interesting times of history. This dichotomy between technology, the future, human interaction, social media, all these things. So when I set my goal is to be one of the ones in 100 years from now that they talk about defined this time. I didn't choose art, I felt like art chose me. The first part of my life was realizing what my talent was, and the second part about it is how to utilize that talent not just for my personal gain or benefit or exposure, but I truly believe that art has an ability to change the world. And so I think art offers the opportunity for people of all different fabrics of society to find some place of unity. And so that's the thing I've always focused on and tried to make my career about.